On this edition of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast, ready to take the reins, the COVID-19 pandemic delayed the debut of Medicine Hat Mavericks coach and former player Nolan Rattai. Welcome to episode 99 of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. With the loss of the Western Canadian Baseball League season in 2020, we've been left with a few what-if questions. Would the Okotoks Dogs have repeated as champions? How would the Edmonton Prospects have done in their final season at Remax Field? Could the Lethbridge Bulls replicate the success they've been having in their ongoing season simulation? And could the Fort McMurray Giants and Brooks Bombers finally break through their playoff droughts? In Medicine Hat, the Mavericks were getting ready for a season with a new face as bench boss. It's an old face, though, in former Maverick and WCBL All-Star Nolan Rattai. After his final season in the red and white, GM Greg Morrison named him his assistant. Then in November, the Vauxhall Academy product added head coach to his business card, and the whirlwind has continued since as he tried to plan for the season and then had to take the foot off the gas with the pandemic. But just like he did on the field, he's taken it all in stride. We thought we'd catch up with the 23-year-old to talk about his progression from player to front office and now to coach, and what it's like to keep his baseball career going in his hometown. Nolan, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's start off with the big news over the last, 6-8 months or so, not only getting promoted to assistant general manager with the Medicine Hat Mavericks, but also being named head coach as well. What did it mean to you to move from player to now coach and someone kind of in charge behind the scenes as well?
Yeah, it's a huge honor. I'm so happy that I can stay a part of the game and stay a part of this community in Medicine Hat, and it's a huge honor for me.
How long have you been thinking about taking that route to keeping going with the game?
I think it's always been in the back of my mind. I coached a high school aged team the summer after my sophomore year of college, so I really enjoyed that experience. So it's been in the back of my head, I think, most of my college career.
Walk us through that process and what it was like, going to somebody that you've known for so long in Greg Morrison and saying, hey, can I have this job, and going through that process. What was it like?
So actually he approached me before I even got the chance, actually. So he approached me first. I kind of always wanted to focus on being a player before I was ever going to approach him, and he got to me first, actually. So on my side, it was a huge honor, and I was very pleased.
Was there any skepticism, I suppose, on your part to take on a role like this, not that far removed from the college game itself and being one of the players on the field?
I wouldn't say skepticism. I'd say I was getting very nervous, but with anything you take lots of pride in, you're going to get nerves, right? So I was nervous, but I was definitely excited it was going to be challenging, and I'm the kind of guy who likes challenges, and I was looking forward to it.
And obviously, you don't get to actually go out on the field and do that kind of coaching this summer, at least with the WCBL team. But it does give you a bit of an opportunity to maybe get to know the behind-the-scenes process a little bit more. What are you looking forward to over the course of the next year or so in trying to put together a team that's ready to fight for a title in 2021?
Yeah, for sure. Right now, just learning as much as I can from Greg. He's been through it all. He's coached, he's managed, he's ran the team for 10 years now. So just trying to kind of go under his wing and soak as much as I can. And that's kind of my plan.
You've been the player who was recruited, or that who was maybe helping Morrison and company try to recruit players. What's that recruitment process like in trying to convince especially American-born players to come up to Canada for a summer?
Yeah, I mean, it's challenging sometimes just to get a hold of the players, to kind of get the players even willing to talk to you. But once you kind of get them on the phone and you talk to them, and we have a lot to offer down here in Canada, and it's a very competitive league, and once they do their research and that kind of thing, it seems to kind of become a lot easier than one would think. But definitely it's just a numbers game. I'd say you gotta make the phone calls, you gotta reach out as much as you can. I luckily have Greg, who has a ton of contacts and a lot of solid contacts. So I was fortunate in that way, but at the end of the day, it's just you gotta make the phone calls, send emails, and just kind of get busy with it.
Do you have a style of team that you're hoping to put together? Do you have a style that you're looking to have maybe as a coach, a style of player that you kind of want to bring to the table? Anything different from maybe what you were a part of with the Mavericks as a player?
For me, I think the biggest thing is guys who are kind of play to win. So when it comes to pitchers, I want guys who are going to fill up the zone and go after guys and not worry about strikeouts or that kind of thing. They want to get out. They want to pitch to contact. They're going to trust their defense. And then when it comes to hitters, just like any other coach would, I obviously am going to look for guys who can play solid defense and swing the bat very well.
One of the things that I learned as a manager, not necessarily in the baseball realm, but in the professional life, is that I can teach skill. I can't teach attitude. And I'd rather have somebody who's got 80% skill and 100% attitude versus somebody who's got 80% attitude and 100% skill. Is that something that you want to bring to the table, is kind of that meat and potatoes player as well that's willing to go all out for a summer?
Yeah, for sure. And that's been kind of engraved in the Mavericks philosophy through Greg. Is he's not willing to take guys who aren't going to commit to then the playoffs and who aren't going to throw both feet into this. So that was already set in wave, and I was happy about that, and it's really something I can get behind. And when I talk to a player and I tell them, like, this isn't just, some joke summer ball league, like, we're playing to win. We're playing to give you a good, memorable experience of, working for a championship and all that kind of thing. So it's a thing I can definitely get behind.
How much are you looking at the local scene and saying, listen, there's a lot of ball players in southeastern Alberta that might be ready to crack this lineup as well?
Yeah, we're always obviously kind of looking for people around here, and just it's fun when you have local guys and stuff like that. But sometimes it's also hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be a local guy, you really gotta perform. So this year it wasn't looking like we're gonna have really any from Medicine Hat, but due to a couple guys getting hurt and that kind of thing. But hopefully this next coming year, that's one more year for guys in college to develop, and maybe we can get a full hometown boys who can really make a difference with the Mavericks.
And you were, of course, one of the local boys who managed to do good over the course of not just a career, but also with the Mavericks themselves. I mean, give us a sense as maybe to some of your favorite memories from your time in Med Hat as a player.
Yeah, I mean, I had a ton. Every home game's amazing in Med Hat, especially being a hometown kid. The fans are amazing. The atmosphere down at Athletic Park's wicked. And my number one is definitely the 2008 championship. That Game 5. That was an unreal experience. They had all the fans on the field after the game. We were singing "Oh Canada." Even the American players on the Mavericks were singing "Oh Canada." And it was something I'll never forget.
Is that a bit of a challenge from a local kid's perspective? Is having to step out onto your home turf and try to prove yourself? Do you feel a little bit more of the pressure that way?
I'd say yes. My very first year, I definitely, my first half of my after my freshman year, I struggled a lot, and I was definitely nervous and was struggling that way. But I eventually got through it, and just confidence is a big thing. Started believing in myself, and then just started kind of playing the way I could. And but yeah, at the start, as a hometown kid, there's there's definitely lots of pressure, I guess, if you put it on yourself. So it was something I did, and it's something if I had to coach a player, I could now kind of shed that light for them and tell them like just go play. Don't worry about who's in the stands. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. They're your friends and they're your family. They're gonna love you either way. So just go have fun and do what you do.
Did you spend a lot of time at Athletic Park growing up?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Talk a little bit about those experiences and some of your favorite memories as being, not necessarily the player, but obviously the kid who's trying to maybe dream big.
Yeah, exactly. I was at Mavericks games all the time, and I was one of the kids who'd be running around trying to get the foul ball, and they would always offer to give you candy or money for the balls. I always kept them, and I'd get them signed by the players, and I always just looked up to the guys. And when I was young, they were amazing and always signed the ball, and would give you a pat on the head. And so it was guys I really looked up to, and that's why, especially Greg, he knows the same thing, that we always stress the players, like, make sure you're good to those kids and you sign their balls, and just give them a smile, and it's something that those kids can look up to and look forward to. And it was, for me, it was an awesome experience, and it was somewhere I was trying to get to as a little 10-year-old.
Did you have any favorite players from those Mavs teams of yesteryear?
I wouldn't say I had really any like one that really stood out. When I was young, I played a ton of positions, so I kind of liked a lot of the players because they kind of played the positions I played. But I can't say I could pick out one, but I just remember it's all I wanted to do in the summer was go to the Mavericks games.
Take us back to when you were that kid and what got you into baseball in the first place, because it is obviously the sport in Alberta that maybe gets the third string position behind hockey and football. So what made you gravitate towards the baseball game?
Well, it was definitely my dad who, initially he put me in it. He kind of put me in a ton of different sports, but baseball definitely grabbed my heart early. And I don't know if I can really remember what it was. I think it was something I had success in early, and something I kind of liked so much that I was doing it 24/7 in the summer. So it was just my dad put me in it, and from day one I just fell in love.
Did you have any players that you kind of molded your game after from a professional standpoint, or did you kind of just play to whatever was your strength?
I can't say I ever molded my entire play to a pro guy. When we're playing wiffle ball and stuff, I always obviously would like copy batting stances and stuff, but I was just trying to be just listen to the coaches I had, and just the way they taught. And I from a young age, I was so passionate about it. I wanted to learn. So whatever coach I had and whatever he's telling me, I just go work on it that night. And so it was kind of, I guess, molded from my coaches. Whether they were trying to mold me through players in the pros, I'm not sure. But
any coaches that you think were integral in your development as a player?
I think there was a ton. My dad, from a young age, he was huge. Before I was even old enough to be in leagues, he was out in the park playing with catch with me, throwing me balls to hit, stuff like that. If you've heard of the McDonnells in town, Rob McDonnell, when I was around 9 to 13, he was huge. Really taught me the right way to play the game and really how to help a team win. And he was just helped me really be a sound player. And then I went to Vauxhall, so obviously Les, Jim Kokas, those coaches at Vauxhall were huge in not only teaching me the right way to play the game, but teach me how to be a good person and work hard and those skills. And then I had also amazing coaches in college too. So I think I was just lucky. And I just had amazing coaches. Joel Blake at Vauxhall. The Vauxhall was probably one of the biggest. Definitely, it's hard to pick one because I was fortunate enough to have so many. But yeah.
I suppose when you look at your own coaching style, you're hoping to maybe take the best of all the different pieces that you've had along the way and create your own kind of footprint, I suppose, on the Mavericks organization.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe every player is different, and that's the cool part is you really need to find a way to help each and every player, and it's a challenge, and it's something that's really, really intriguing to me.
What excites you the most about this opportunity that's now in front of you with the Mavericks?
I think just the experience. It's something I've never got to do, and I think it's something I'm gonna love, and just to get my feet wet and to really use this first year to really learn and really try and go out and win a championship on the other side from the coaching side of things. And it'll be a lot different, whereas I have to now teach, right? I can't just go try and do. So just also the ability to just be able to still go out and fight for a championship. It's something I've always loved, that competitiveness, and I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to still do that at a high level.
Final question for you, Nolan. What does the game of baseball mean to you?
I don't even know if that's something I can put in words. To me, it's been my whole life. It kind of means everything. The great thing is not only an amazing thing to play and it also teaches people like life skills, so many life skills, hard work, how to handle failure. There's so much failure throughout your life, and baseball is probably the biggest sport that's going to teach you how to fail. One of the only sports where you can be successful and fail the majority of the time, and just that is what it's helped me grow as a human being, as well as giving me the best memories of my life that I'll remember forever. It's just everything to me.
Nolan, appreciate the time. Thanks so much for joining us here on the podcast. And again, congratulations on the new gig with Mavericks.
Thank you very much. And it's an honor to join your podcast. Thank you.
Thanks to Nolan Rattai for joining us this week, and thanks to all of you for downloading and listening. We'd also like to thank all of our sponsors for everything they do: the Okotoks Dogs, Dogs Academy, the Western Canadian Baseball League, and the Vauxhall Academy of Baseball. We couldn't do what we do without all of you. Until next time, thanks for all of your support, no matter the platform of Alberta Dugout Stories.